Okay, now I'm going to speak with you about the 4 quarters of life, because this is primarily for college students to get an idea of what they need to be concerned about earlier on in life so that they can make corrections before they get to the 3rd quarter in life, where I am. See, 1st quarter in life is while you're in college, and that averages out from ages 18 to 29. Okay? So when you're in your 1st quarter of life, it's usually between 18 and 24. And that's when people are not taking you seriously, and that's when you need to make an impact. You need to learn your craft, you need to get very good at what you do and how well you do it, and just spend the time learning what it is you need to do. Make an impact, develop good relationships, develop friendships, because once you turn 25, if you realize you can't rent a car until you're 25 years old. So once you hit 25, that's when people are really starting to take you seriously, but you're in your 1st quarter of life. So how many points are you actually scoring? How far are you getting ahead? Are you making an impact? Do you have a good idea of what it is you want to do? You develop a good network of friends. You have a good mentor that you can turn to, because that 1st quarter is very important. And again, most people are not taking you seriously in the 1st quarter of life, but by the time you reach the end of that 1st quarter, you need to have scored enough points. So by the time you step into the 2nd quarter, which is 30 years old, 30 to 39, that's your 2nd quarter life. When you hit the 2nd quarter, did you score enough points? People are starting to take you seriously. They're looking at you for leadership positions. Do you have the reputation? Do you have a good name? Do you have a good image? Have you started setting up your network properly? Because guess what? Once that 2nd quarter hits, if you didn't score enough points and the 2-minute warning comes up, you know when the 2-minute warning happens? That's 40. That's 40 to 49. And see, it's the 2-minute warning because your 40s go real quick. And if you didn't establish enough points in the 1st and 2nd quarter, if you haven't done something really sharp and big in your 1st and 2nd quarter, then you're going to be scrambling to get points in that 2-minute warning. And if you're not scoring enough points, guess what happens? Halftime comes up. You know what halftime is? 50 to 54. You have to start reassessing your game. You have to start reassessing your life. You got to look at your life and start saying, what didn't I do right? What didn't I do wrong? Why didn't I score enough points? Should I score more points in the 1st half? Yeah, you probably should have. So now you got to reassess your game plan of what you're going to do in the 2nd half. Because during that halftime, 50 to 54. Now you're getting the 3rd quarter of life. That's where I am, 3rd quarter of life, 55 to 59. The game goes fast. So now, but you're beaten up and bruised because you played a whole game of life and you're now in your 50s. So did you score enough points? Because guess what? When you're beaten up and you're bruised, and now you're going to be slowing down a little bit, life is going to start scoring some points. And when life starts scoring more points, then you can score, because you don't have the speed, the stamina, the strength that you used to have in the 1st quarter and the 2nd quarter, and even doing the 2-minute warning. Now you're playing just to tie the game so that you can get into a 4th quarter game. So 3rd quarter ends. What is it? It's 59. Now the 3rd quarter ends and the 4th quarter begins. You're 60. 60 to 64. That's your 4th quarter. Now, you know, the 4th quarter is real tough. You played a full game. Now your body's beaten and battered and bruised. You're old. You're tired. You've gone through a lot of life. You've experienced a lot of different things. But can you still survive and hang out in that game up until the age of 64? Well, the 2-minute warning comes again in the 2nd half of life, and this is towards the end of the game now. So now you only have 2 minutes, and you know what the 2-minute warning is in the 4th quarter? Age 65. Why? Because once you hit 65, it's time to retire. It's time to stop playing the game. If you want to do things after 65 in the game, if you still want to be a part of the game, guess what you have to become? A coach, a consultant, a person that can offer advice. But you can't get in there and play that game because you can't take a hit anymore. You know, try taking a hit at 60 and see what that feels like. It's not going to feel good. So now you're going to try to take a hit at 65 in the 4th quarter of the 2-minute warning? I don't advise it. I don't recommend you try to do that. So if for some reason you can tie the game and get to the end of the game, then you will have won. That's a victory in itself because you survived all the way to 65. But you don't want to just survive, you want to win. So if you can score a lot of points in the first quarter, second quarter, during the 2-minute warning, reassess your game during the halftime, and score points in the third quarter, guess what you can do in the fourth quarter? You can sit on the bench. You can enjoy life, retire early. So in the fourth quarter of college and you're 60, you're out of the game. You don't have to play it. Now you can help those young folks that didn't play in the first quarter. You can help them get a handle on life. And you can be that consultant. You can be that mentor. But you can do that in the fourth quarter of life, not having to worry about continuing to play the game, not having to worry about whether or not you're going to make it to overtime. We hadn't talked about overtime, right? Here's what happens if you tie the game and you're trying to win and you have to go into overtime. You know what overtime is? 66 to 70. Now, how do you think you're going to hold up in overtime? It's going to be real tough to make it through overtime and actually win. You'll survive it, but will you really win? Even if you score some points, will you be able to enjoy the win? Will you be able to hold the trophy? Will your fingers be able to put the ring on that you'll win? Can you enjoy it at 70? So, 4 quarters of life. Remember, the key thing here, score enough points in the first and second quarter. And then when that 2-minute warning comes from halftime, make sure you've scored enough points to say, game over. Just like the Seattle Seahawks did against the Green Bay Packers. They took it and won it in the first half. 4 quarters of life.